Hi everyone, it's Kathy here from Bishopstone Yarns, and of course it is Easter time, so happy Easter to everybody. I hope everybody is having a nice little holiday and a little bit of time to have to themselves. And I am coming to you from the Bishopstone blog, and I am in Tasmania, which is a little island to the south of Australia. And this is a podcast about crafting, really about just what I've been up to, kind of what crafting things I've been doing, mainly knitting, sewing, a little bit of crochet, spinning, things like that. So sit down, grab a drink, and hopefully you'll enjoy what I've been making. So I thought I would just pop on before Easter. Well, it is actually Easter already, but I thought I would pop on and just say hello to everyone because it has been a few weeks since I've been on, and tell everyone what I've been making. So my first thing, I thought I will just jump into it, is I have finished my funky chicken. So this is a cross-stitch pattern, which I have been working on. And for those people who have followed along with this blog, you will know that not blog is it? It's a podcast, that I had cross-stitched this previously and I had finished it, but I hadn't put it together. So I have finally put it together, and here it is. This is the rooster. So the pattern comes with 3 different ones. This is the rooster here. So this is the one I've done, and then there are another 2 chickens, I guess, which I plan to do later. I was actually hoping to get all 3 done before Easter, but of course I wasn't going to get that done. It was a nice thought, but at least I got the rooster finished. So here he is. And if you want to have a look and see how he is created in a rectangle kind of shape and then folded together, if you wanted to have a look and see what it looked like before it was put together, just go back to my last podcast and you'll be able to see it there. So this is Mr. Rooster. I'll give you a close look. I didn't use the called for colours. Let's put him over this side. I chose my own colours out of my stash. Oh, that'd be a nice, cute little picture there for the podcast. I don't know how they decide on the pictures, but anyway. There. Okay, so here he is, and each chicken and rooster has a little, it's upside down, has a little message on their bottom. So this one says, well, guess what? Chicken butt. And yep, the other 2, you'll have to get the pattern if you want to know what's on the bottom of the other 2. So this is him. And I had said last time as well, I had gone around looking for this felt, to buy some felt to make his comb and his beak and his wattle and his little tail here. I must say I did watch a couple of tutorials on how this was put together, and there were some people who have sewn it together on a sewing machine, but I must admit I just did it by hand because I had put a backing on this cross stitch. I found that when I had it on the right sides together, I found it a little bit tricky to see exactly where the last row of stitches were when I joined him together. So I thought it was easier to do it by hand, and I don't mind. I quite like doing a bit of hand sewing. So you probably see the front seam and the back seam are slightly different because I was trying to work out which was the best way to sew them. Of course, this side here was the easiest side to sew. I know one of the other things people were saying was when they were sewing it with the right sides facing, that you had to be careful that you didn't catch either the beak or the crop here in your sewing. But because I had mine right sides out, I didn't have to worry about that at all. But I think he is so gorgeous. I am really, really happy with him. And so he is sitting on my Easter display this year. Hopefully next year I might have one of the other chickens to join him. And because I've suddenly realized I don't have a lot actually in my Easter display that I have made myself. I do have another bunny that I had cross-stitched, whose name has totally gone out of my mind. Anyway, it's a 3D standing cross-stitch bunny. And so he before Easter, so I was really, really happy that he was done in time. So that is one finish. Another thing that I finished, I'm just going to be jumping all over the place here at the moment just to get through these couple of things. So I don't know if I talked about this last time or not, but I have this pattern here by Isabel Kramer. I don't know how it is pronounced. Fiola, maybe? I'm not quite sure. So this pattern, I bought this pattern along with another two of her patterns as well, because I absolutely love her patterns. I also had, so that was the pattern, and I have had these two cones sitting around for quite a while. This one here is a Bendigo Woolen Mills in the shade of Almond, and it is a 3-ply classic. This one doesn't have any label on it whatsoever, but it is a mohair, a really fine mohair. I guess if you kind of compare the two strands, here we go. So this one is much more like a fingering weight. This is a 3-ply. And so what I decided to do was hold these two together to knit this jumper. And as you can see, I still have quite a bit left. This mohair I've used before on the ranunculus, and I think I might have used it for 2 ranunculuses actually, but I've still got lots and lots because it's so thin, goes on and on forever. So that'll go back on my shelf. And I still have quite a bit of this white, and this isn't even the only cone I have of white, so we won't really talk about that. Maybe what I'll need to do is wind off some of this white and dye it, and then I can make some jumpers in different colors, because I do like this, but I do have quite a bit of it still. It's amazing how far a cone of wool will go. So here, oh, I was about to say, I'll show you. So this is what the yarn looked like when it's held together. And that's the one mohair and one wool strand. And you can see how they just kind of cling to each other quite nicely. But they're still quite a nice thin yarn. And I used, what did I use? I used the called for 3.75 circular needles, and I think this is a 3.5 circular needles. So I love knitting on circular needles. And yeah, so these are the ones that I used. These are my Zing Knit Pro needles. I'm pretty sure they're called Zing, aren't they? They're Knit Pro. Let me just see if I can find it. Yes. Yeah. So that is the packet. My Knit Pro Zing 3.75 millimeter needles. And so they're the two they used. Purple, which would always be my favorite, and the gold. And here it is. I'm just thinking, how is the best way to show you this? So it is a top-down construction, which I always love, no seaming at all. And so knit in the round, top down, probably one of my favorite constructions of all time. And then you come back and pick up the neckband afterwards. So here is a lovely little bit of detailing here on the neck. Or maybe if I get up a little bit closer, you'll be able to see it. There we go. I really, really like that little detail of having a little bit of extra lace here on the neckline. And then down the sleeve, all the way down the sleeve, is a beautiful lace pattern as well. Maybe if I just stick my arm in there, we might show it off a little bit better. Where are we? Oh, maybe I sit back down. No. Oh, where's the camera? Where is the camera? I'm not really doing this justice, am I? Anyway, there we go. So that is the beautiful pattern down each sleeve. I just love it. I just think it's gorgeous, and it's so lightweight. It's light and airy and just has a rib down the bottom, but it's just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. It's kind of I think this is going to be a really good lightweight kind of autumn jumper when I don't want anything too heavy, but then you still need enough to keep you nice and warm, and the mohair is going to do that really well by keeping me nice and warm. And this pattern, oh gosh, I just love the design in it. Look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous? And it was such an easy, I can't remember how many rows it was, but it was a really easy pattern, lace pattern. And yeah, and I just love this bit here. I just love having a little bit of something, and it makes a big change from usually what I'm doing when I knit top down. Is I usually knit a yoke type jumper, but yeah, just something a bit different. And it's always great to be using up some of my stash, the stash that seems to go on and on and on forever. I'm sure no one else has a stash like that. I think we all have a stash, don't we? And even though I keep making things, sometimes I wonder, is my stash actually going down? Am I actually getting any more room in my studio? We better not answer that, I don't think. I really still need to do a huge overhaul and move things around in my studio, trying to find more space or trying to find more light as well, so that when I'm working, I've got enough light coming into my studio. One of the major things I've changed in here is that I used to have all my sewing out in the entrance. So like when you first walked into our house, I had my sewing machine set up there, and that worked really, really well. And it was really lovely when it's sunny and it's very bright there. But the problem is it did look a bit messy because it's when you first walk into the house, and then so you've got all my materials sitting there in the sewing machine. But also the big problem was in winter, there's no way of heating that area, so it's not really an area that I could use in winter. So what I decided to do was try and move, well, first of all, I thought about moving it into the spare bedroom, and I kind of tried that as a kind of thought, but it didn't really work because that spare bedroom we still use, like when the kids come home or we have guests over, then they stay in that bedroom. So then I would have to move it and pack everything away. So then I decided I would just move everything into this room. And so I've got it over here near the window, which works. I think it would work slightly better. I was going to say it would work much better, the space, if I wasn't working on a quilt at the moment, but then that defeats the purpose of having moved it in here, if you know what I mean. At the moment, I am working on a quilt. So it's not a scrappy quilt, but it's a quilt that uses up lots of small pieces. So I have lots and lots of material out because I need to constantly be choosing different colours, and so everything is out at the moment, which also makes it very busy and means that I can't use the table at all for anything else. I don't know why I started talking about that, because I was talking about this lovely jumper. And yes, okay, I think I shall move on now to something else that I was doing. What else? Oh, I can talk to you. See, I am all over the place at the moment. For the last couple of podcasts, I have been sitting here with, up here in this basket, I've had some of my hand spun, which I haven't talked about. I haven't made a sit and spin for quite a long time, so I thought I had better just talk about my spinning now. So at least I've talked about it, and it won't need to be sitting up there behind me. So I had a very large, and I don't have the tag here with me at all. I had a very large amount of tops, Australian wool tops, in this beautiful blue. So I had decided to spin it up, and so here we are. This is, oh gosh, what would it be? I would say it's, yeah, maybe I should measure it. Hold on. If you can just bear with me for a minute. I have this lovely little yarn measurer, which I think is it Katinkle's, one of Tinkle's designs, but I bought this from Louie and Lola. Is it Louie and Lola, which is a yarn dyer in Tasmania, in the north of Tasmania. If you haven't seen any of their products, you should go onto her website and have a look at her absolutely gorgeous yarns. Anyway, so I was able to buy this a while ago. So let me have a look before I just jump in and say, well, I think it probably is. Do I think? See, it's somewhere between a bulky and an Aran, I think. How can I show this to you? Let me see if I can. Okay. So that is a bulky. And if I rolled it down to the Aran, that's, is it going to? Not really going to focus, is it? Anyway, it's somewhere between an Aran and a bulky weight, and I haven't quite decided yet what I'm going to use this for. I have four skeins, I think, maybe, of this. So I'll put them back into their bag. Sorry for any rustling. So yes, so I have 4 skeins of this. To see what I'm going to do with it in the future, I might have to start thinking about, I don't know, do I want to do a shawl with it? Do I want to knit a jumper with it? I'm not sure, but at least it's spun up. And the other bit of spinning that I had been doing, and I actually spun, I'll just quickly open this and I'll tell you. Okay. Sorry. So at the beginning of the year, I was up at Ross, which is a gorgeous little town in the centre of Tasmania, and the Guild has their summer day up there every year where we sit outside when the weather's, as long as the weather's good, we sit outside on the grass and we all sit around and spin. So those from the north of the state and the south of the state, east and the west of the state come together for a knitting day, for spinning day. And it is always lots and lots of fun and really enjoyable. So this year, usually what we do is we go up a day or a couple of days before and we camp up there in our van, and then go to the spinning day. And if you're interested to see a little bit more about it, you can see it on my blog, which is Bishopstone Yarns on Blogger. And I've got photos of the town and a couple of photos of the spinners. And yeah, it's one of my, I guess, one of my favourite towns in Tasmania. I do have quite a few favourite towns, though, I must admit, and I do like going away, and I do like staying in a nice little town. So yes, but if you're interested, Bishopstone Yarns on Blogger is where you can find more photos of my little trip. You might have to go back a few blogs to actually get to it. But this is what I was spinning. This is a long way round of telling you. This is what I was spinning on that day. And yes, so, oh, the camera doesn't pick it up. It is actually a lot brighter than that. It's actually a neon green, but absolutely gorgeous as well. This is more of a maybe 10 ply, I would probably take a guess. And to go with it is neon pink. And yes, I did get a lot of comments from people because these are actually a lot brighter than the camera is showing up. I did get a lot of comments from people about the colour and how bright they were as I was spinning it. So there they are. And if you can just imagine, if they're a lot brighter and they're neon coloured, that is what I have spun. And the reasoning behind this was that when I bought this, I actually bought this fleece or yarn, no fleece. Let me start again. I bought this as tops quite a long time ago from the wool shop in Moona, which is a suburb of Hobart. And these were very much the colours of the Barbie shawl, which was out at the time. And I just thought, oh, this would look really great in the Barbie shawl, these two colours, and then with another, maybe a yellow or something else with it. Of course, since then, it's been, well, that has been a couple of years ago when the Barbie movie was out and everyone was into the pinks, and the shawl is lovely, but I haven't bought the pattern for the shawl, and I haven't decided whether I still really, really love the shawl pattern or not, or whether or not I want to make something different from them. But I think a shawl is definitely what they're going to be. I just have to decide what kind of pattern, and I think I will definitely need one more skein to go with a pattern, with a shawl, if I'm going to. I don't think there's enough. Well, there might be enough there for a shawl, but I have to find a nice pattern to show it off. Anyway, so that is my spinning, my finished jumper, my finished cross stitch. I am knitting at the moment a pair of socks for myself. So these are being knitted in Peyton's Peytonelle 4-ply premium wool blend, and it is colour 4314, and I really much like it, prefer it when there is a name to a colour. I do know that some of these companies, they make so many yarns they can't come up with a name for everything, so they have a colour, but I do really like it when something has a colour. Anyway, so this is a multi-coloured 50 grams, I'm pretty sure, It's 175 meters of 80% wool and 20% nylon, which is always a really good combination when you're knitting socks, because you want to have a little bit of nylon in there for the hard wearing. Yeah, so this is 50 grams, and this is the colorway. So there are blues, purples, a bit of yellow in there, and it is so soft. Oh, it's almost like baby wool in a way. It is quite a nice soft. So it'll make a lovely soft sock. And I am knitting these 2 at a time, top down on I did the cuff on 2mm needles, and this is 2.25 doing magic loop. Whoops, let me turn it up this way. So top down, and the last lot of, or last few lots of socks I've knitted them individually on 4 DPNs. But this time I just decided to go back to doing top down, 2 at a time, which is what I used to always do. And I really, really like this colorway, and I really, really like the pattern on it. I love purples anyway, so I'm not really a huge fan of yellows. This is more of a, I guess, a mustardy yellow, but because there's not very much of it, it suits it. It fits in really well. Not a color that I would normally wear, but I think it's going to be a lovely pair of socks. And just thinking I've got a mark on my sleeve. Anyway, we will keep going. So there are my pair of socks. Hopefully next time I will be a lot more advanced in them. Might even have them finished. So there we go. I think that's all I'm going to talk about at the moment. Probably next video I will talk about the quilt that I am making, and I have also started a new cross stitch, kind of slightly Eastery, kind of slightly, well, anyway, it's a really cute little cross stitch, and I'll show you that next time. Anyway, I hope everyone has a really great Easter break, whether you celebrate Easter or not. I hope you have a nice holiday and you get a chance to do some lovely crafting. Thank you very much for joining me. Bye.